Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Sunday night, Week 7 Bronze, Silver, and Gold Competitive Series matchup between Ascendancy Gaming and Nevermore. Let's see these two competitors go at each other for the first time. Let's see how this one will work out. Thankfully, I've got myself one of the most influential players, captains, and the savior of the Saturday night game, Kid of Fire, here with me for the cast.
How's it going? I'm doing good. Everyone's doing good. All right.
Anyway, I gotta be honest with you, Katarina being taken away right off the bat means that Hamlet will most definitely not have that option available to him. Looks like because of a certain circumstance with their unofficial substitution, due to a lot of unfortunate circumstances happening with Ascendancy Gaming, they will be losing a band, and CGEM 242 thankfully came to the rescue for them, but it was actually their ADC did not show up in time. So they will have Akimimitsu? Ooh, Oz. Kimimitsu. Ooh, that's going to be hard to pronounce. I think I'm going to go with Oz. In any case, it is more bans coming in fast. Zach and Azir quickly being banned, quickly getting taken away here. Kid of Fire, personally, what is your opinion of Azir?
Azir is still pretty good, even after the slight nerf to his Q and cooldown, which kind of forces you to just not be able to poke as much in lane. He's still very, very strong if you can get him into that sort of late game environment. There are better picks, though, at the current time, but definitely a solid pick overall.
And it looks like Nasus has been taken away as well. No way will Blitzykins have Nasus in this situation. CGEM certainly doesn't want to deal with that as a top laning opponent. Not a fan of a guy that can infinitely stack and scale. Speaking of that, looks like Braum, a champion that has a stacking passive that leads to a stun, has been selected as the very first option for Nevermore.
Kind of Vigar. They ban the one stacking champion in the top lane and pick the one in the mid lane. Vigar.
You know, gonna be honest, Vigar is one of the most stackiest of stacking champions, and you got Sejuani taken away, so it looks like Sully won't have the Sejuani Braum double stack stun combo out and about.
Yeah, that can get quite crazy. Plus the baby cage, the utility that the baby cage of Vigar offers can really kind of stop almost any engage and things like that for your team, or set up engages alternatively.
Interesting. Well, what I do know as of right now is we have a Shen, and we're going with To Live is to Smile's next option. He's certainly looking at Cho'Gath right now and will confirm it. Is that a Shen jungle or a Cho'Gath jungle? Only time will tell.
I would put my money on the Shen top Cho'Gath jungle. I feel like that's more normal, and Shen's clear speed is just insanely slow. He can jungle, it's just not necessarily optimal.
Hamlet searching for some choices, decides to take out the support. Since he couldn't seem to make up his mind, might as well get Sarashi's option here and in place. To remind you, audience at home, there was a bit of a miscommunication with the ADC. Sarashi's ADC could not make it, so he has now a sub in, and that's why there's the ban loss. Unfortunate for Ascendancy Gaming, because the bot lane honestly was one of their strongest combinations. Now, without that, who knows how strong Ascendancy Gaming is going to be with the loss of the ADC.
Definitely. Having a sub, especially in this kind of competitive environment, can definitely hurt things, especially if you're not used to playing with them or they haven't gotten the practice in rotation with that person. Even one person in any role can definitely throw off a team dynamic.
Well, CGEM242 wants to try to keep that dynamic strong. Last time he was brought in to help out the team, he managed to get the team in a dominating 2-0 fashion, turning the luck of Ascendancy Gaming all the way on its head and defeating, I believe, your team to make that happen, which was still a shock to see in particular. What do you think about Ascendancy's gaming strength now without their starting ADC?
At least in that game, it wasn't all that. From what we've seen of them, their AD carry wasn't all that influential. He could definitely, the absence of him could definitely throw off their communicational systems or other things like that if they're used to certain kind of playstyles or a person talking, something like that. But overall, it won't probably hurt them too much. They had a pretty solid team, and they'll probably compensate in other lanes.
Yep, and it does appear to be a misfortune that will be selected. They've got the bot lane for sure now. They've got everything. So CGEM now needs to decide what kind of top laner he wants to go against. Whether he thinks he's going against Cho or Shen is the big question here. As both PK Awesome and Hishro 747 is still debating on what kind of top laner that they currently want, as well as an ADC. It looks like they'll take the ADC right away. So now it's still up to debate. Is this a Cho'Gath mid, Shen jungle with something else top? Or is it top lane Cho'Gath with a Shen still in the jungle option? Well, it looks like they're telling us they want to take a mid laning something else. They're certainly going after every single mid laning choice possible, sitting finally on the Zoe.
Definitely. So again, I'm pretty sure that's a Cho'Gath jungle there, and they could try to pull off the great combo between the Zoe Sleep and the Cho'Gath ult. You could pretty much eliminate anybody in the game almost.
Hmm. And it looks like one of your favorite top laners and one of your favorite champions to burn to a crisp as Brand, Maokai, has been selected to be CGEM's top laner.
I don't imagine the tree is going to be burning in this game, but he certainly might get eaten.
I don't know who likes to eat bark personally, but I guess if all the champions to eat said bark, it would be Cho'Gath. Monstrous, destructive nature that Cho'Gath is could easily take out many champions effectively, efficiently, and will be something to see in the future. Looks like we have a conversation between CGEM and Fred Fredersen. Poor Fred wanted CGEM to come up with this very crazy Rakan build, but apparently was denied, so it looks like he'll be trolling CGEM 242 for weeks to come. Unlucky! Let's hope that won't be the case.
Definitely interesting. We like to have fun in this community, so.
Oh, absolutely,
Greatness.
yeah, absolutely, positively, 100% agree. Gonna say this as well. I'm definitely curious to see how this is gonna work out. They're putting all of their marbles and Ascendancy Gamings into this new recruit Oz and Mad Hamlet to get the deed done. But at the same time, Zoe is also a bit of a serious issue. Because I think Zoe's honestly very good against Veigar. What do you think? Is this the case or not?
I mean, Veigar loses pretty much every lane matchup mid. He has tools to deal with certain things, and for the most part, but he's an infinitely scaling champion, so by nature, his early game is not so great. So Zoe should have the edge in lane. Over time, obviously, Veigar is going to outscale her, but if Zoe can manage to find the Janna or the Misfortune or even the Veigar in the back without the carries and just kind of snipe them off with the combo, then that could just be devastating to any kind of team fight because you'll come into it in a 4v5 with those huge front lines there.
Absolutely, and you want to basically get them in a nice perfect spot for the wombo de combo of Veigar Misfortune. The burst as well as a consistent AoE damage is super powerful, and if you can get that set up, it's almost unstoppable of a wombo combo combination. But all of it really heavily relies on Veigar Misfortune getting the job done. And if they can't, it's going to be very difficult for them in the fights to come. Speaking of that, Nevermore taking a bit more of a in-your-face AoE style of combat, trying to get the Zoe, the Cho'Gath, the Shen to just throw themselves into that front line, disrupt the play, make some catches, and then make Sivir just do those special auto attacks to get as many of them targeted as possible, start cutting them down into pieces. I'm going to seriously enjoy Sivir and Brahms interactive in this match to come. It's going to be absolutely epic.
I think I'm more going to enjoy them being absolutely cucked by the other team. They have 3 ways to disengage from any sort of engage with Janna, Veigar, Baby Cage, and Maokai ult. That I don't really think that, unless, like I said, unless Zoe tries to pick somebody off in the background, that Nevermore is even going to really be able to get too close. And if they do, it's a failure on Ascendancy Gaming's part.
Well, let's see if failure is going to be the name of the game for Ascendancy for sure. Let's see if they can make those plays and setup work extremely well and extremely effective. Because if they can't, it's definitely going to make this match quite challenging and difficult for them in the future. They have to make sure that every play that they go on is going to be one that leads to Ascendancy getting the wombo combo that they're looking for. Till then, we'll be seeing you guys very shortly as we check to look at their summoners to see if that is going to be what makes or breaks everybody's beginning game, mid game, and late game. Is the runes people purchase what will be the deciding factor?
Definitely. Rune choices are definitely important in the current state of the game.
Right. Aftershocks decided by the top laners. Aftershock by Sedge, but the Cho'Gath decides to go with the Grass of the Undying. Very interesting decision. Usually you'd want to even think about that type of thing if you are going in with the mindset that you're going to be auto-attacking a lot. Don't think it's going to happen that consistently, but we'll certainly see as the match, jumps in super fast. I was also going to say that press the attack on Sivir is
a little
also
bit
kind of
questionable.
weird. As well as Comet and Airy on the opposing bot laning Misfortune and the Janna. Misfortune going with the Comet. What's your opinion on that?
It's definitely the rune to take right now on Misfortune. You can make some arguments for some other options, but generally speaking, it's her. She can get some really good poke off early game and stuff like that, especially against the generally weak laning of a Sivir.
So, Kid, personally, you're a mid laner by trade. You've also said you like to play as a support for a while. What do you feel like the minion dematerializer stands for, in your opinion? Like, how do you think it's used, and why do you think some mid laners have been doing it so far? As we've seen Jin Daddy, and now To Live is to Smile, has been using this. What do you think?
It's very, very good in certain situations. Pretty much in the tree, since they nerfed a lot of the inspiration tree, minion dematerializers are almost the only good option in that tree. Its main use is to, if you need to push a wave very quickly and go roam, especially cannon waves. You want to try to use one on the cannon wave, one on a range minion, one on a melee minion, and then the rest on the cannon minions. Generally, it's just get an early good push and try to roam so that you can get kills, picks, whatever you need to, vision.
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen you use it personally. So do you just personally not care for it, or doesn't float your boat, or what?
I use them when the situation calls. I almost never use them in solo queue. But competitively and sometimes when we practice or flex, I take them. It just all completely depends on the matchup of the champion that I'm using. If I can afford to go inspiration second.
Well, looks like it was an aggro juggling for the most part here between the Braum and the Cho'Gath. Interesting decision there to shorten down the camp a little bit. But most importantly, I honestly and genuinely like the idea of having Cho'Gath back into the jungle again. It always seemed really interesting when he was there in the first place, because it seems like at the time he was like that replacement Nunu. Because you can just ult the camps and everything, just the same way as Nunu would consume. But now Nunu's kind of more popular ever since his changes. So, who knows really where Cho'Gath truly belongs, as he's been always a top laner for the longest time.
Definitely. I think he can work there. I think it's not necessarily optimal. There's other junglers who could do the same things that he does better. I again question the grasp of the undying in the jungle. You're not laning, so you don't auto as much. I guess late game in the team fights might work, but overall I hope it works out for him. First thing I noticed is the junglers took different routes, and Sejuani is done with hers trying to take the scuttle crab there.
Yeah, and Cho decided to go with the wolf camp on that one instead of going straight for the buff, so he's a little behind.
They jump onto Zoe.
Yep, and it's a little pressure onto Zoe, but with the sleep makes it very easy and clean of an escape. CGEM242 is getting some pressure onto Bits, but it's not a lot. It's going to go back to the reset between the two of them.
Yeah, it's just a tank slap fight up there.
Yep.
Both of them have Aftershock. I'm sure both of them have bone plating, so they're not going to be doing too much to each other very early.
So, I'm pretty sure when you do play support in the bot lane, you normally wouldn't take a Janna or anything like that. Do you feel like your common supports, Brand and company, do you think that they would have been a better choice in this type of matchup against the Braum and the Sivir?
I think that in this type of environment, synergy matters a lot too. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with and things. Maybe a Brand would have been better, but Brand has a difficult time, especially into champions like Sivir or Braum, who can almost negate all of his damage, unless you time it right. The Jen is probably the better option. Try to keep the MF alive during the early phase, try to get some advantages, and then just set up those ults.
So, Janet, in your opinion, better choice in this situation?
Definitely.
Okay. Well,
especially because of how much the MF is getting poked and taking bad trades.
No kidding. It almost looked like Sivir had the play right there on Misfortune, and Misfortune definitely was taking a lot. Could have been even worse if that passive got procced, but it looks like Sivir could not get those autos off in time. Looks like Sarashi still is able to keep the ADC standing. I don't know for how long, though, as PK Awesome has been able to effectively put damage on the Misfortune so far in this match.
Definitely. Very, very far ahead in a lane that they should probably not be taking that much damage in.
Ooh, managed to get some good damage on Sarashi. That bot lane's very juicy and very low. But they don't exactly have an assassin jungler. They have a Cho'Gath until level 6. Doesn't really have that big bursting damage until he gets that his own consume ready. But in any case...
Both top laners are, again, just slapping it out there. Maokai's almost out of mana, but they should be hitting 6 in the next few minutes. Look for the plays down there, especially towards the weak bot side.
All right, CGem certainly running out of mana as he's trying to keep the wave under control. He does not seem to have a lot of mana, so he's going to try to back already. TP now being used by Hamlet as he wants to continue his gold lead against the Zoe. So missing nothing on that wave. So, gank-wise, we have a Cho'Gath and a Sejuani. Sejuani currently at the bot side right now. I remember conversations having with you where you were like, man, if I only had a jungler who can gank mid. Do you feel like that might be something important this time?
Definitely. I mean, if you are Ghost Swim a lap here on the Sejuani, when you get 6, I would definitely suggest trying to set down a Zoe early before she can get some of those mid-game power spikes, and try to get the Veigar, who's already ahead in CS, even more ahead. As he infinitely scales and can almost take over games at a certain point if you give him enough resources.
Certainly getting a lot of resources already. He does happen to have the gold lead right now due to his CS numbers, and the TP definitely came into the factor for sure. But To Live is to Smile is also back into the lane still and has the same amount of items. Do not expect Zoe to make that big play right away, but might be seeing something interesting soon enough.
Definitely, especially after her round of nerfs this last patch. She got hit pretty heavily overall. I mean, she's still a solid champion, can do most of the same things she used to before, just not as fast. So she needs a little bit more time to kind of get there. She has a lot more of a mid-game power now.
So Maokai and the top side Chens had backed. It looks like CGem has been struggling so far, going with a Spectre's Cowl to give him extra magic resist against those auto attacks. I think is a very good option considering every single member has AP.
It's a bit of a skirmish breaking out there.
Yes, it was, and it looks to be over with quickly as no commitment on either side was made despite that sleep on Sedge. Ooh, sleep has landed. This is going to be so big.
Nice
he does hit it. But...
take it for the trade.
Yep, and it will be a big trade between those two. Will not be
Zoe
anything
still comes out
though.
the better, but that could have been much worse. Good reaction there by the Veigar to put the stun right on top of her so that when she landed, she couldn't push out any more damage, and he could get some return.
Absolute wise decision indeed. Definitely paid off nicely for Hamlet.
And the top lane smack fight continues. Both just looking at each other going, I'm going to hit you. You don't do anything to me.
Yeah, but CGem certainly taking some extra tick thanks to that Cinder. And CGem now loses half of his health bar from the health percentage as well. No way to get any health back.
Except for his passive, of course.
Except for his passive, yes. Thank you for that. Little Q action, but the taunt still lands. It looks like Blitz is going to get some good autos in there. Here comes Psycho Sully. He narrowly avoids the Q, flashes to dodge the other one. The silence lands after the flash. CGem narrowly avoids a kill yet again.
That's a blown flash, though, and it looks like Shen was already kind of bullying the Maokai, taking better and better trades.
Oh, yes, he was. Could have been a lot worse. Good reflexes by CGem to avoid what could have been a kill if that Q landed. Lots of care and concentration had to go on that one. So, Every lane seems to be pretty steady as we reach the 10-minute mark here. Nobody is able to get the true upper hand against their opponent except for Blitzkins here, but he hasn't been able to make it translate that into a kill yet.
Oh, definitely not. Looks like Vigar is winning in CS, and the bot lane is winning in CS for the other side, Nevermore. And Shen is winning in CS. I think overall, it's about tied, though.
And CGem, no mana yet again, as Blitzkins has been able to force him back, and CGem has been using mana after mana just to stop the wave from making it any worse for himself. Those 3 autos come through pretty cleanly, and CGem on the ropes right now, barely able to stand up, as Shen has been consistently pushing him and pushing him under this tower.
Definitely, that's got to be Rush as a top lane. Luckily, you're a tanky tree. You should be alright.
Gonna keep trying to push that wave back. Q somehow lands on the Misfortune, and Misfortune once again is forced under tower from the Sivir Braum combo.
Oh, yeah, Sivir's just gonna keep pushing ultimately with her amazing wave clear.
Looks like CGM setting up a freeze here as he pings that Shen is no longer in the lane. This is kind of difficult for Ascendancy Gaming. They can't really make an engage or a play because it's too difficult of a setup at this time. Anyway, here might be the one play they want. The stun lockdown. He needs a little bit more damage. He's going to get it. Hamlet gets the Q off in time. And it looks like Blitzkins' barrier did not manage to block it enough, despite that glimmer of hope Sully must have had when he saw his health bar get close to 100 on that.
And that is really good for the Vigar to get an early advantage like that. Already winning in CS, gets a kill, gets first blood.
Ooh, might be a little bit more here. Oh, PK awesome. Misreads the
interesting
environment.
ult.
Yep, looks to be a minor misread. Misfortune's going to go for the Hail Mary and gets it with the slam from that ultimate, that extra passive. That definitely came through very nicely.
Gotta say that was a lot on the Braum right there. I mean, the AD carry should have recognized that Braum wasn't gonna be able to reach it. She had low health, but at the same time, Braum for some reason ulting the air and just leaving his AD carry out to dry. Had no time to get to. If he had been not done that, he could have reached in time to at least try the shield and save.
Yep, that extra delay certainly backfired on him, and Ascendancy got themselves a couple of good kills for it. CGem now with the Cinder is now seemingly trading very effectively with Shen at this point. CGem happens to have the AP damage, and Blitzkins no AP resistance at all, aka magic resistance. None of that. Sleep.
Yeah, both choosing to kind of... CGM choosing to kind of go split build and get the MR for Shen's attacks, and then the start building towards the Sunfire Cape, where Shen is just trying to rush towards the Sunfire Cape, which will actually start to lose him some trades because he does magic damage versus him, and Maokai does magic damage too.
In this so far, I honestly am liking that the complete turnaround, because he went for the Spectre's Cowl so early, that this 13 minutes now, where he was struggling to stay even close to Blitzkins, now he is basically forcing Blitzkins back under his own tower just from having that Spectre's Cowl.
Which is also good, is the rest of his team is starting to win on the other sides of the map. Misfortune got a kill. She's still down in CS, so overall she's going to be down in gold. But, I mean, still good job by Ascendancy so far.
Yeah, the kill definitely shortens that gap slightly, but in any case, looks like Psycho Sully does not like himself a CGem, decides to go for some auto attacks, and CGem takes a passive and heads out saying, thanks for coming topside, but I don't want anything that you're selling.
No Girl Scout cookies here.
And it will be him heading over towards his blue buff at this time. Looks to be ooh, takes a big chunk from that Sivir Q. And the pressure continues on that bot lane.
Concentrating down bot. Looks like, but it does look like Ascendancy is constantly getting pushed in.
Two control wards on that river. 2 of them, as they will immediately spot out the Sedge. Here comes Vigar jumping over the blast cone, as it looks like Sivir is going to get some company, including reinforcements. Both Zoe and company are beginning to fall down. He decides to cancel the TP. and he will no longer go into the bot lane. Unfortunate for Ascendancy Gaming. They definitely wanted it, but didn't expect so much control wards in that area. The problem is Misfortune and Janna just too much pressure back. They just don't think to get a ward out there.
Oh yeah, and then on top of that, also the Sejuani made a smart play there by ultimately not deciding to ult. I feel like a lot of players would have just been like, oh, okay, let's still try it. But the second Braum had his shield out, they were smart enough to recognize that they needed to back off instead of trying to press too hard.
Well, Ascendancy still has that lead. Let's see if that is going to continue despite that failed gank. Bot lane still struggling. Top lane not looking so well. Mid lane though, that's exactly the kind of insurance policy you want to put your money into in the first place.
Oh yeah, he's 1100 gold above the Zoe right now, as a Vigar is doing really, really great.
Right, and Zoe used to be the most devastating mid laner in the game, able to just have the most ridiculous amounts of damage. Now seems to be a patch change, and Zoe does not seem to be nearly as devastating as we see now. Anyway, it looks to be a little bit of a wombo de combo. Awesome. Is one proc away. He's going to get ulted on, and there is some Shen coming in too. He uses his ultimate on the return.
Oh,
it is a Misfortune on the taunt, and it will be pressure right again for Ascendancy Gaming as they got another TP coming in. Here comes Slater. He's going right for the root, and he gets one member knocked down, but it's Shen that will survive that. It's a wombo that he tries to set up, and it does not come through well enough. Hamlet does not have the damage that he was thinking he had there.
Ultimately, both teams walk away bleeding.
Yep, and that is unfortunate for Ascendancy Gaming, who was trying to force even one kill to happen in that environment and haven't been able to do that whatsoever. And their patience seems to be running thin. Oh, wow! They caught him on the vision!
Into 5!
They caught him on the vision play! And it will work in the favor of Sully as he gets a good chomp on the Sejuani. They're going to get away with that.
Expected to happen. Normally when one person walks into 5, that person dies. I guess Psycho Sully just decided to say, hey, I'm going to eat you and get out.
With the flash as well, great job by Sully. Sneaky. They didn't even think that was going to happen until it was too late. What an epic turning point, and what a play by Sully. All of a sudden, that gold lead has shifted all the way back, and now it is Nevermore with the farm lead at this stage.
Forgive me, I'll be right back.
Okay, that'll be fine. We'll continue with the broadcast, of course, until he returns. It is Maokai in the top spot right now. Let's see how these changes are coming into place, because it looks like Blitzikins has decided to complete his Sunfire Cape, so that seems to be pretty good for him. Now, ooh, almost revealed that Braum was in that mid lane area, as they're now clearing out some vision. Tries to get the sleep. It will be barely, niffily dodged by Hamlet, just bridging that silence. I mean, that sleep. It will be an Ocean Drake decision by Ascendancy Gaming here. They're going to try to take themselves an Ocean. It will be some pressure that is going to be a determining factor for both sides. The sleep will not land onto that Drake. They're going to take it with the smite. Good secure here while Nevermore is trying to push for this objective. They're trying to get this tower down while CGEM is defending it. They're keeping the bot lane bot, and they're going to keep CGEM, who's very tanky right now, at the top side. Interesting decision by CGEM. He wants to keep this top side for now, despite the disadvantage and the insane wave clear, as you clearly can see here.
I'm sure that's a team decision, but yeah, definitely very, very questionable macro call there.
Well, CGEM certainly is keeping that pressure back, as he is tolerating this a lot better. As for Ascendancy Gaming, they are still at the bot side, and they know that Shen's nothing to fear as of right now, as it looks like Cho'Gath's on his way. There's no vision in the area. They're going to try to race out of there. Psycho Sully goes for the Q and will be off target, as his speed just wasn't fast enough to get into play. Meanwhile, it's CGEM still trying to stop Nevermore from taking the top tower. That pressure is still working out pretty nicely. And this might be something that Ascendancy Gaming is willing to take the risk out of, because I think CGEM can survive a lot better than Shen can.
I definitely think that is true. However,
Hamlet
Nevermore should have
is
just
getting
been pushing
pressured.
and hitting the tower.
Yep, and Hamlet's getting wedged into a corner here. Pushed up against the wall. He's going to try to run out. He gets
No
auto.
flash, baby
Q
kid's down,
lands
dodge,
on the target.
dodge, dead.
That's Rousey, and he will be eaten alive by Sully. He could not. His dancing shoes just weren't good enough for this type of stage and floor.
Give the Zoe a little bit of breathing room. Maybe try to close that CS gap. That's not going to happen from just one kill, but it's a start.
Well, CGEM certainly keeping up with the pressure, pushing them out, but it's still too much to tolerate, and I think he's starting to realize he doesn't have the mana for this. This will be the tower coming down topside, and he has to give it up. He can't do much more, and Ascendancy Gaming will take
Trade
the
down
tower
bot.
on bot side, and Ascendancy is still behind in towers, but will have one on the board. They're rotating towards mid. They notice Vagar's the only one there. The sleep did land earlier, and that's half the health bar of Hamlet. He will retaliate with his own
Baby
stun.
kid's down.
It will not hit anybody, not even the minions there.
And without the baby kid, he can't approach the tower until his team arrives.
Q will miss as the stun. Baby Cage once again, as you said, misses, as it will be Shen still at the bot side on the split. Looks like Ascendancy Gaming is getting a bit out-rotated here. Is this part of the Ascendancy giving out a little too much, like you were mentioning earlier?
Definitely. I think that they are not absorbing the pressure properly. They got an early lead on the Vigar. He still has a lead. They can keep using that. They could just play this out slowly and keep letting him farm out. Ultimately, good. Both sides scale well, so it's probably all going to come down to a late game team fight either way.
So, Hamlet here is Vagar. He's got a Luden's Echo, and he does also happen to have one of the new items, Oblivion Orb, which will lead into another item soon enough. But my big question is, why is there a big fight going on right now? Psycho Sully racing in there. He's going
Sully
for
coming in,
and
claim his third kill.
Yep, and he's going to get it too. Sarashi racing his way out there. Hamlet, I think you took the wrong turn there, buddy.
Walks around, gets flashed on.
Oh,
what are you doing, Vigar?
Hamlet, misreading that entire play, runs right into it and nowhere else to go. I think he was too afraid of to live is to smile there, because that was a completely huge misread on his part.
It looked like he almost wasn't paying attention to where he was going.
Well, they do have their combo, but so far CGEM has been a little bit too far away to make any big plays yet. Oh, intercepted by the Braum Shield, so no sapling toss by CGEM. The tower will go down, and all members of Ascendancy Gaming at topside gets knocked up, so that will be an easy leave for Nevermore. Oh, wait a second. So Giovanni's looking, does manage to hit that.
Takes the flash.
Flash that was used. Ultimate now being used here.
Shen ulti.
What an incredible wombo setup, but it's still a member of Shen in the back line here. Sarashi barely able to stay alive. The ultimate was completely and utterly blocked by Braum. It's going to be an ultimate used and takes out the Shen. Knock up. Oh, Nevermore only goes for a 1-for-1 trade on each side. And Misfortune was only able to hit Braum in that wombo combo. Oh, wait a second. CGEM's going to come in. They're going to go for the Braum here. And it looks like to live.
So he picks off MF in the back.
Absolutely. And it is going to be more pressure coming in by Nevermore now as they finally got their advantage. The sleep has landed. They need this to hit. It's not going to hit, but the Cho'Gath's got the free knockup. PK Smile and the others are trying to push this in mid as fast and effectively as possible. Bot lane is pushing into tower. Top lane is losing for them, and they're going to start the back. Maybe even go for a Drake here. Yes, they will.
And this looks really rough for Ascendancy. They almost look like they're playing like a desperate housewife, trying to get anything that they can from anywhere.
Sedge at the position looking for even the slightest window to go for a smite steal. He has the chill smite option.
He's gonna back
on
off.
the Baron. He's gonna take the back off here.
Dragon.
Yep. And that's kind of a seriously important one here, because that is a Mountain Drake, and that is super good for ADCs that do not have tower-based damage. So Sivir can just focus on those auto attacks and has the true damage to get some extra proc off, including on Baron as well.
Definitely Mountain Drake will help any team overall. Did pretty good by securing it there, just making sure that the enemy team can't really come back. And at this point, they really should be looking to try to look towards that big purple lizard and pushing as many advantages as they can, as they have at Mountain.
Red was taken by Sedge, not going to give it to the Misfortune at this time. Kind of an interesting call. Honestly, a bit of a surprise considering that Sejuani is your common front line. I don't know if that's a good idea not to give it to Misfortune here.
And that could also show a further lack of either communication or team trust, design, dynamic, or just game knowledge in general being lacking.
They're putting all their biscuits into the Hamlet basket, and they're hoping that that will be enough to win this matchup here. Do you think Veigar's got a good chance, or is his team going to be the hindrance?
I would have said he had a good chance after the beginning, but watching his last two deaths, even just blatantly walking in the middle of the enemy team, looking like he doesn't know where he's going, I didn't think he was playing Lee Sin, but I guess he's blind.
Hey. Not bad, not bad. Hamlet definitely, I think, might want to start thinking about that magic penetration damage for sure, or something that goes health percentage, because that Cho'Gath's going to be way too big. And Misfortune going lethality means that there is no way to cut away at that health bar of Cho'Gath. They'll have no way to stop Cho'Gath at all with this build direction, which means, Hamlet, you got to start thinking of the Locket. I mean, sorry, not a Locket, a Leandry's Torment, or you might want to start thinking of some sort of penetration item, because that Cho'Gath's not going to be easy to kill at all until he gets low.
And he does have the Morello, which does now give 15 magic penetration. But it won't really help if he gets any more MR items than one.
Well, he needs it to hurt a lot more, and he's got to figure out a way to make that work. Hamlet cannot afford to lose this matchup here, considering their momentum's feeling really good right now. They don't want to go into match 2 with low momentum.
Definitely. Having that game 1 win when you go into game 2 definitely helps.
Ult's not coming
like
in.
They may have cut the
trying to
Braum.
get out of there. It will not be enough damage. Hamlet could not make the burst onto Braum. And he's got to
use everything onto a tank with a shield.
In fact, that's a Braum with a shield, in fact. That is, of all the tanks with a shield you're ever going to get, that is one of the ones you are the least likely to burst with. And Hamlet certainly wanted to make that count, and that definitely did not work. I think if anything, he just wanted to get rid of that no deaths that Braum has right now. I think that's what it is.
And also, maybe just playing, like I said, a little frustrated, like a desperate housewife, trying to get any advantage they can. And I mean, if you're a Veigar, you see a low health Braum, and your team is losing, you might think, why not? He survives with a little bit of health, however. Could have been a little bit better, but overall, nothing gained.
Not to insinuate any BM between you and I, but I just want to know how many desperate housewives that you know.
A few too many, Army. A few too many. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Control Ward was destroyed at the Baron. They have zero vision of that Baron right now going into this, and they know Veigar is at the bot side on that clear. Does Nevermore say, you know what, let's go for it? They are sending ADCs in Cho'Gath bot lane, so I guess they won't go for it at all. But honestly, it's a big missed opportunity, I think.
I definitely agree with this. At a point, you're kind of super far ahead. The enemy team has mostly scaling champions, and it's going to have a hard time dealing.
Ooh, that was a bad decision there on ward clear. That was a really bad decision by Ascendancy Gaming. They just got rid of the ward at the red buff. Okay, there we go. They did manage to get another control ward. I would have said if they didn't have that, you have to get rid of that ward that is by that pit, because you don't want the enemy to know that the blast cone is there. when you are going to head over. You definitely want them to have zero vision of that area specifically, because
So
it
that
makes
you
it
can at
easier
least
for the
threaten a
jump.
50-50 smite. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to have that not be known, because that way they won't have to. They will go blind and they'll worry more about what's happening next instead of knowing that it's going to happen.
Definitely. But at this case, I would say it's almost a 80-20 smite. You have Psycho Sully has his ult, plus a higher level smite. So it's almost not even a risk. And they do start it up, which I think is the correct decision here.
Yeah, definitely. They know the enemy has no idea, and they already pushed in, and they already had the pressure from earlier. So Nevermore gets themselves a really clean and fair Baron for nothing. Wait a minute, they're going to go for the ultimate. They want to try to jump somebody here. They will
definitely
use that opportunity, and it will not pay off. I think an ultimate there was definitely not necessary. Yeah, I think that was a very unnecessary ultimate there to just get to mid lane, because now they didn't even get anything with that, and they have to wait for the wave anyway. The Drake is coming up pretty soon, too.
And they already have an astounding lead, about 5k gold. They have a Baron, they have the superior champs, they have the superior communication from everything they've seen. They can't win during this Baron window. That kind of says things to the team's coordination and abilities to play games. So they should really try to be looking to close it out while they have this massive advantage.
Ooh, somehow, some way, that sleep lands on point, and that is a ton of damage on Misfortune.
Yeah, the sleep itself chunking almost a third.
Remember, lethality doesn't do very much to Cho'Gath at this point, and won't do a lot to Shen either, or Braum. So of all the comps you're ever going to come across, I think of lethality and Misfortune might not be one of them. Oh, the ADC just backed! Right in front of them, in fact! Unfortunate. That could have been a very clean catch on the Sivir there for Ascendancy Gaming. Oh well. Sun lands, and you know, somebody on the damage dealing side has to get something to hurt this Cho'Gath. Otherwise, the Cho'Gath is just going to walk right into that backline and make some kills happen for free.
Definitely, and now it's starting to look kind of like an ARAM game.
You would definitely know that as the all-one lane masters that you are, the captain.
Definitely.
Looks like it's some quick trade damage. The sleep lands again. Janna is going to take a little off the top of the health bar. Nothing too serious because Zoe doesn't want to take the risk. Sleep will be off target, and Ascendancy Gaming has to play defensively. They cannot make any trades work. They cannot make any of their damage land, and they're just not hurting them at this time. They're not getting anything to work. They're just kind of waiting for the match to, you know, kind of slowly fall apart at this point. They need to start thinking about making a play.
Definitely, definitely. Whether you're behind or ahead, you can't ever just kind of roll over and let the opponents do whatever they want. At a certain point, you may not have control, but you have to do what you can to try.
And they slowly but surely lost that tower. Ascendancy Gaming needs to start thinking about pulling a trigger or waiting for something to happen, because they cannot afford to slowly lose this match.
Definitely not. But at the same time, like I said, during this ban time, if they can't end, that's not necessarily good. The enemy team has a Vigar on it and a Misfortune ultimately.
Yet it's still barely not enough. The sleep has landed on Janna. It's going to be almost the amount to take out Janna, but CJ, very great decision on that W, completely untargetable, while Shen continues to work his magic on that tower, lowering it to half. Blitzykins gonna not have enough to knock up here, and the Braum will finally get forced back. They finally get him to run away, but they cannot engage. No way to make any engage happen here. While Blitzykin still has to be dealing with a Sejuani, there's still no chance to make any engages happen, and the
reset call comes in. Everybody's backing, trying to buy, and that's gonna pretty much be the end of their Baron there. By the way, Army, what do you think of the Banner of Command Baron Siege Minion tactic and not seeing it here? Do you think that that's actually a good strategy? Do you think that can be pulled off in something kind of situations like this?
I hate to say it, but the way that it works is just almost criminally strong. It is actually unbelievably powerful. It could make her, as soon as you grab a Baron, if you can get even one item if you can even pull that off a banner of command, it is way too powerful. Like, it is just game-breakingly strong. It is just your tower, you cannot defend it, and the artillery is way too good. It is just your tower's coming down no matter what at that point, and that is just absolutely devastating. Like,
Do you think it would have been smart for the Nevermore to have tried to have built one during that time, or to try to have pre-planned it?
If I was PK Awesome here, I would have actually have sold my 2 supporting items and just bought that. That's how strong I think it is when the Baron was there, yes. Because you could just instantly take a tower and an objective. You will lose your supporting items for sure, but you will instantly get the gratification of having multiple towers and inhibitors going down, all without your teammates even losing a single thing. It's just, to me, way too strong of an item and just too powerful to just say no to, personally.
I don't know about selling items, but I do feel like he should have had at least some of the foresight, or to not buy the Knight's Vow there and maybe have went for the Banner of Command. But
yeah.
I haven't personally seen it in action yet, so I don't know how devastating it is.
I have, and it is unbelievable. You will automatically lose at least 15% of your tower per minion auto. And the minion auto's like 8 times, your tower's gone. Just gone. It is just overwhelmingly strong. So, when you get yourself a nice proc of that health with the, as we continue to watch each side trying to break through the... See, right here, perfect time for Banner Command. We wouldn't be talking about them sieging. We would be talking about them talking about an inhibitor
winning the game.
Yeah.
Who won the game. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how powerful it is. It is really that busted. And it sounds ridiculous, but I assure you it isn't. Stun locked. He's going to need enough damage to go. Oh, my
down.
goodness.
May have caught Zimmer. That's a good catch.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
There we go. The fight's turning around.
And it is. And it really is Ascendancy Gaming
another
finally
2 to the Vygar.
Yep, and they finally got that play to finally come through the way that they were looking and hoping for.
Vygar has the best score ever. And as a side note, this is exactly what I was saying, that if Nevermore couldn't break the base, or at least attempt to go for the end of the game with that Baron push, they're giving their enemy way too much of a chance to try to come back into it with a 5,000 gold lead at that time. They're just playing a little too scared.
It is not
Now they
surprising.
have to.
Yeah, not surprising at this point that they're as fearful as they say you are. It is a lot of damage, but it's still not enough to take out Cycle Sully. The ultimate now coming in. That damage finally coming through, and Vagar with the ultimate takes out Cho'Gath. So it will be a tower going down in mid side right now, and they have the Elder Drake as their option. I would say, let's go for it, and they will think about it. No, they're going for it.
100% they should.
Yeah, and bot lane is now being shoved out by Sivir, but it's already too late. The bot tower from that massive minion wave still managed to take it out despite Sivir being there. They're going to try even a lucky Q, a lucky sleep, or a lucky combo by Zoe to get the steal here. 4,000, 3,000 on the Elder, 2,000 on the Elder at this point. 1,000, he tried to steal it, blocked by Sejuani. Glove save as they managed to get the Elder Drake. Big glove save by Sejuani will guarantee them the Elder, and now they have true damage proccing on the target. Cho'Gath is not going to be as dangerous anymore, and their Wombo combo is now on another level of damage. If they win a team fight, ace them, this could be the victory Ascendancy Gaming is looking for. Nevermore here, they just need to not lose 3 people. If they can keep 3 people alive, Nevermore
goes for the Baron.
Yep, Nevermore can still win this match and still keep the match going. It's that Nevermore here is going to pressure in, and they will get most of this Baron down. No, they will take all of it.
Got it.
Take it by the Zoe, and that's a Baron versus Elder. I still think if Nevermore does make this engage, they still don't win it because that true damage proccing is too strong, I'd say, in my opinion. They just need to wait it out, keep some pressure going, and then force them back under tower with the Baron advantage.
They're going top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree there. Actually, I think that Ascendancy should have almost immediately engaged if they could have. Not try to force it necessarily too hard, but if they could have found a good engage there with the Elder, that would have been a perfect opportunity.
Looks like some people are saying, man, this should have been a big fight there, but it wasn't. Speaking of big fight, it looks like there is one now coming in. The ultimate spraying away, and it will scare them all off. Darn, that is a monumental ultimate now no longer in play. This
And
is
they
going
broke
to
the
be...
base.
Ooh,
the important
wait a
part of that
second.
competition
There's a big
right there.
burst damage here. Braum will take a lot of it, not enough. And Zoe
Oh, and I
can
mean,
push the wave mid.
That Vigar has to be hurting at this point. Let's check in on how much AP he has. I don't know how to do that in spectator mode.
Yeah. Well, in AP, you can just go ahead and see in the bottom left how much AP they have. It's the number is underneath the big axe thing. Anyway, oh my goodness, Braum almost dead. It is gonna be enough. The true damage finally comes through, and Braum goes down. Blitziken's here is trying to get this tower. He's proc, will do enough. Slater's got to get him off, and he could not do it. Blitziken squeezes that tower, and it's another one that goes down.
Back on the other side.
Yep, and oh my goodness, Hamlet!
Hamlet
That's
just
got to be over 1,000
there.
AP! That's an 1,000 AP one-shot right there. Oh my goodness. 1,000 AP one-shot he just did to that Sivir, and no spell shield in the world was going to be timed well enough to stop that from happening.
All right, Nevermore still has some opportunities to win here. They both do, but Nevermore is actually on the rope. Despite the gold lead, the power has shifted in the favor of Ascendancy.
Yeah, the health percentage damage is starting to come through because of that ridiculously high AP ratio that Hamlet has now. He clearly is sitting on a healthy, very healthy 1,000 AP. 1,000 AP, and that is extremely scary as we take a look at the numbers. Yes, he does have 1,008 AP right now. That is going to be really difficult for anybody to survive that, especially considering most of them don't even have that much magic resist.
It looks like I see the Gargoyle Stone Plate, Locket.
Yeah, not a lot of magic resist here. So Hamlet's going to have a field day. He could just fire his ultimate and probably one-shot the Sivir here. Probably. But the Sivir at this stage still has the spell shield, can block Hamlet's entire ultimate here.
She does have the, I can't remember the name of the item, but the Hex Tech that builds into Maw.
Shen still trying to split here. They could go for a catch. They catch one sleeping. But nothing else. Shen still at the top side here. Looks like CGM's got the catch. Braum needs to get out of here. There's the root, the flash, the Q combo. CGM gets the setup here. PK awesome. Cannot survive long enough. Meanwhile, at the top side, Blitziken's managed to get the burst on that top inhibitor. And CGM now isolated out there. They don't want to help him. They ran all the way back.
CGM survives.
Big heal back, but the crits finally come through. It looks like they're going to try to catch Blitziken's here. Misfortune's damage is doing nothing.
Right on the end.
Absolutely nothing to this Shen at this time. He's going to have to back off. There is another taunt.
Shen's making a case.
Yes, he is, and he's going to make some more damage come through. The auto comes through. Sivir grabs another one. Down. That's a big kill, couple of kills for Sivir, and the crits are really hitting them hard. They're gonna take They're gonna take all the inhibitors. They might stay just to win the game here, as they will be taking every inhibitor on their way out. I say, oh well, goodbye, Shen. That's the AP damage coming through for sure. And they are beginning to back out, and without Shen, they know that their opponents will be turtling for the rest of this time. So Nevermore gets themselves all the inhibitors, and they play offense some more.
And Ascendancy there with the ultimate last second pickoff there onto the Shen. Buy themselves a little time, but at this point I think they're just delaying the inevitable. 3 inhibitors is really hard to come back from.
Absolutely. They are just almost waiting for their resets to just get the big play and the big finish that they're looking for. So let's see if that is going to come through or not. Hey, yeah, we got ourselves a new follow. Like my positioning so far. It looks pretty good. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Anyway, Misfortune taking on the Gromp here. It's going to reset.
And that's just
takes the blue buff away from Vagar.
Kind of the story of their entire game summarized right there.
Yeah, they don't seem to be too coordinated. Yep, the hobbling Sivir. Still hobbling as he takes the red buff there. The blue-red buff. Oops.
Definitely. It looks like Nevermore is just about to come and say, run it down mid. Let's go and just try to ram our way down your throats.
Yep, Baron's up in a minute. Nevermore could just wait it out a little bit longer. Those inhibs are not coming on for another 2 more minutes after the Baron's been taken. They could just wait for the Baron, try to overwhelm them all at once. But then again, they will have a lot of minions on their side. So maybe they might not think to do that. Who knows? It's a little bit on the debate here because they don't feel confident enough to beat Ascendancy Gaming despite having all these minions. So it looks like they're still looking for that Baron. Problem is Hamlet. Hamlet is way too strong right now, and they're petrified of him. Hamlet could all-in kill them on a burst, and no tank can survive that, and they're realizing this. And Misfortune's lethality could burst Sivir and company, and that's something they can't afford either. So they're just waiting for the Baron at this point, so they'll take it so they can have more pressure.
Maybe and then run it down.
Elder. Maybe even Elder.
They do have that option to get both the Baron and the Elder and just absolutely force it. They could definitely end this with just a Baron buff and 3 inhibitors down.
Yeah, but they're still a little petrified. There's the Smite. Consume. Takes the
Baron. Still no banner.
Yep. I guess they just don't seem to care about it. Not too surprised. They're heading right for the Elder.
They're making the call to go for Dragon.
Yep. A bit of an excessive decision. This is just Nevermore saying, all right, listen, we're respecting them a lot.
Yep.
We think that they could ace us easily. We're not going to take that risk. We're just going to let us have all the damage we could ever want, and we're going to win the game with this much damage. That's what we'll do. Let's go for it.
And Shen is recalling.
He will have
a teleport and an alt up.
Yeah, he's got all the things he could ever want. He's just going to switch some items out for the final stage of this match. So, I say you have all this stuff. I think you could just walk right up to him and see what they do. Because I think Cho'Gath at this point is really strong.
Yeah, definitely.
Here comes an ultimate. They are going to try to fire one set, and it's not going to land. Stun combo lands, though. That's a big bursting damage onto Braum. Here comes the ultimate by Shen. They're going to throw everything they have. Sivir ultimate takes out the Sejuani.
Mad Hamlet's on.
Will end up doing some of its damage. Not enough. Hamlet is barely alive.
He's trying.
But he will not stay alive long enough. He gets 2 kills for the road.
Hamlet's back is absolutely broken.
All one lane. Oops. Nevermore has overwhelmed their entire team.
You just love us so much, Army.
Well, in any case, Nevermore clinches the first victory from Ascendancy Gaming.
And yeah, I think that we need a doctor for Veigar. I think his back is absolutely cracked in half and might not be able to play game 2.
Well, truth be told, I think you couldn't have said it better yourself.
It goes robotic at the end there, sorry.
I was saying, truth be told, I don't think you could have said that better. It just seemed like his back is almost shattered with how hard he tried to carry that.
Oh, yeah.
We go right into the graphs right off the way because I want to know how much damage that Sivir did. And whoa, 55,000 damage.
No surprise there.
Yep, all of the targets were definitely close enough for each other for that W to land. And the crits. Ooh, baby, those crits. Certainly came through very nicely. The Zoe damage doing 31.8k. Seemed like a lot. You know, could be a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. Itemization and stuff. Veigar doing a 38.9k in the damage department. Apparently I'm choking to death. Sorry, folks.
And yeah, that makes sense. Sivir is able to put out consistent, constant damage with auto attacks, whereas Veigar is very major, as you saw, versus champion.
And the Misfortune, 24.6k on the damage. The lethality build direction certainly was a build direction that did not exactly work extremely well for them. Apparently, by the way, the folks at home are probably looking at it like, you've been disconnected from the chat. So apparently I was on stream that whole time when League said I was disconnected. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, back to what we were doing.
All right.
Okay, now we're going on to self-mitigated and damage taken here. Looks to be Malachi with the 70k, 70.6k damage self-mitigated. I can see why you like him on your team all the time and always want to have him on your team because of those kind of mitigation numbers.
Definitely. And, you need trees to create breathing room.
Oh, hey, get it? Because trees give you air? Oh, ooh, nice. Okay, all right. See what you did there. Sejuani and Malachi both doing a solid 49 to 47 on the damage taken. You got them for a tank for a reason. They certainly managed to do their tanky job. And the top lane, top side, did seem to do pretty nicely. And finally, my favorite topic, ward score, 109 on the vision score for the Braum. And Zerashi here is a sad sight to see for him. He usually does much better on the vision score department. Ward's battle came down to 38 versus 43, and Braum certainly had every ward right where he wanted it. Looking pretty great, and Nevermore definitely managed to get the wards out there, and they got it out there effectively and efficiently. That will cover our Game 1 topic here. This is honestly looking pretty interesting, as it will be Ascendancy Gaming taking the loss on this one. Unfortunate for them. They definitely looked like they had the right comp, but they could not seem to coordinate it well enough to get this victory. Let's see if the game to come will be a different story to tell, because as we all know from Nevermore, they have never won 2-0 in their history so far in this season. Week 7 has been always the same tale from this point to the last. Nevermore always seems to find a way to lose one of their matches no matter what happens. The only time it's ever broken was back in week 5 when they took on Naughty Nips and ended up losing for the first time 2-0-2 on their record. Unlucky at the time, but Nevermore might be able to finally get their first win. Who knows if that's guaranteed or not? We'll certainly tell you in a moment. But until then, guys, we're going to get ready for the game to come, so we'll see you guys, well, in the match 2 to come. So stick around, sit around. We will be right back. We're not going anywhere. Timer will tell you when we are ready to get this going. So, see you guys in a jiffy. We'll be right back. See you then.
Is it off?
No. Mute yourself.
Okay. But I need to talk to you.
Going into this very quickly, we already have matches for you to observe. It is game number 2 time between between Ascendancy Gaming and a good old Nevermore. They are coming in live for this match for your guys' entertainment. Let's see if this is going to work out well for Nevermore, as they have their first opportunity in their history to go for a win in their record
Yeah,
book.
winning the first game definitely gives them the momentum going into the second game. One thing they've always struggled with is getting that second win after they get the first one. So Ascendancy Gaming looked a little rough and shaky in the first game, but I'm sure they're going to be looking to change that up in the second game. Hopefully Nevermore can take it away, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rengar here in for Kid of Fire, who had a very important scrim to be a part of. Thanks to his very kind nature, I'm very happy to have had Rengar be his replacement at this time. So I'm glad you're here, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. You always do a great job casting and making me feel more confident doing it. That being said, the first 3 bans are the Azir, the Nasus, and the Katarina. I know Matt Hamlet fancies himself a bit of a Katarina one-trick almost, so definitely don't want him getting that champion. And the second ban will be a Zac. What do you think? Do you think, usually I don't see the Zac banned, especially when on red side, since first side usually picks Sejuani, such a good champion. And if they don't ban Sejuani here, that's a free Sejuani for Go Swim a Lap. So I'm interested to see if they have a counter pick picked up for the Sejuani on the side of Nevermore. Otherwise, I just don't see why a Zac ban would be viable on the red side.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about it either. I'm honestly hoping that things will kind of work out for Ascendancy Gaming now that they have their starting lineup back in this one. They subbed out CGEM 242 because they finally got their actual top laning starter out there and ready to go. Unfortunate for CGEM, he did do a solid job as a tank. It just didn't seem to work out coordination-wise. And Ascendancy Gaming, without their starting lineup, definitely did not look like they were on their best behavior. So Ascendancy really in this situation is 100% invested, interested, and hoping for every single thing to work out well now that they have every single starting position filled.
And when you bring in a new player, it always like revitalizes the team because the 2 players have two different mindsets coming into a game. They may have different play styles. They may even like shot call, talking wise. So I think that we shouldn't expect them to go into game 2 like worried or depressed or anything. Especially when you sub in a new player, the energy is almost revitalized. So I think AG Bulls has a lot to prove the second game.
All-Star and Sejuani were selected on opposite sides. Cho'Gath once again taken for Psycho Sully. And if I was on Ascendancy Gaming, I would have actually gotten rid of Cho'Gath, considering how the ADC previously didn't have a good job. But Zayab's here, so might be a different tale of the take, for sure.
And I wonder if that's going to be a Cho'Gath jungle, and if people are starting to realize that he may be a counter to the Sejuani. I haven't faced too many Cho'Gaths, but I know last game the Cho'Gath seemed to stomp all over the Sejuani. Whether that was because they weren't too confident with the Sejuani pick, or if that's just because Cho'Gath is a good matchup. They also pick up Tristana and Orianna on the side of Ascendancy Gaming. So, and it's kind of interesting that they went for the Alistar first pick on the side of Nevermore.
Yeah, honestly, I think that could have been something they take as their third option. Maybe you can grab Zoe first just to say, hey, we're taking this again. But Alistar, definitely you're telling a tale right off the bat saying we want to have our engaging support this time in this matchup instead of having a Braum. So
I do think he is one of the strongest supports as well, so I can see why they would pick him in the first rotation. I don't know about the first pick.
Engaging-wise, I agree. Engaging support-wise, he's definitely the best, if not the best, one of the best. So, Cho'Gath and Zoe is an interesting combo. They liked it last time. They felt really good about it. Psycho Sully does not want to get rid of this type of combo style. Combo. No, it doesn't work. All right. With that, they will ban out the Tahm Kench.
Which is extremely smart, especially having that Zoe bubble, and then you have the Alistar as well. There's just so many things that can go wrong if they do pick a Tahm Kench.
And the Zillion going away as well. I think they were looking at what CGEM 242 played in the support role last time, and I think that's exactly what they were assuming was going to happen again here. But, you know, CGEM's not even in this match. It's actually Sarashi, so...
I think it's more of just a thing like of what could save him if they managed to pick someone out. Like with the Cho'Gath, his W, or the Zoe bubble, if you pick them out, it should be a kill. But if you have that Tahm Kench Zillion to save him, then it gives the rest of the team a lot of time to jump in. So it could be the fact that they're just trying to ban out CGEM even though he's not in the game. But I think it's more of just anybody that gives somebody a second chance. Like, I'm shocked we didn't see an Echo ban with how hard they're focusing the save the player comp, the redo button.
Xayah selected as the ADC here. Xayah versus Tristana. Almost a very commonplace matchup, honestly. I've been seeing that almost every time now in the duo esports. It seems like it's always a Tristana versus a Xayah, or it's always a Xayah and Tristana. They have some sort of like, if we can't get this one, we'll get this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Speaking
just
of
two
engaging
S-tier
supports,
champions.
they're going to take the other
Wow.
engaging support, Leona. Who's,
Yeah, not scared of that 2v2 lane, I guess.
Nope. In fact, they said, we can beat you with that 2v2 by engaging more than you can.
I actually really like that Lissandra pick. Not only she is a pretty safe as soon as she hits 6, because she gets like a free Zonia's almost that heals her, but it's also good for CCing the backline, because a lot of times when she throws out that little claw, the team all in whoever's closest, and the next thing you know, she's on the backline ulting 3 people.
Looking at Ornn right now would be a good chance to get a good wombo de combo with an Ornn. They like it. They're going to take it as their top laner.
Yeah,
So,
or not as strong as he once was, but still a very strong top laner.
his ultimate still devastatingly powerful, game affecting in team fights for sure, because you can get really more powerful from another person's CC lockdown, and you could just turn it into such a more powerful CC. In fact, I think if you can get a double spray of that Ornn passive, get a Zoe sleep, I don't think you're just never waking up. You just don't wake up at that point. You just stay asleep forever.
Yeah. I just realized, I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it's actually a Lissandra top lane. I didn't even think about that. I can see it working with the team comp they're going for. It's pretty safe. You do a decent amount of damage, just not your average top laner. So he's coming into the second game with an aggressive mindset, which I like.
Yeah. And we're in a situation where it is going to come down to Nevermore either reaffirming their curse, like keeping the curse going, or breaking it through Ascendancy Gaming here. And Ascendancy Gaming needs a tie to keep their record in check. They cannot they cannot afford to lose an 0-2 here. Wow, I cannot seem to keep
You okay?
Can't seem to keep my posture here. Sorry.
Nah, one thing I am shocked about
Thank
though
you
is the
for
fact
water. Thank you for water.
that one thing I am shocked about is the fact that neither support went Ignite. Both running Exhaust, which is something that we've seen to be a common trend. I don't know why these bot lanes keep picking kill lanes, like where you can just snowball the lane, but then they don't run Ignite. And I feel like as soon as you run Ignite, if you level 3 gank bot lane with the kind of supports that they're running right now, then you can easily get first blood around 4 or 5 minutes in. So I'm really shocked that they're not going Ignite when they have that option.
Yeah, actually, I am also as interested as you are in that. Because the problem is, there's not a lot of burst, I would say, from Orianna. At least not until that very interesting 20 to 30 minute spike of her damage. So I would even warrant that Alistar could go Ignite instead of Exhaust here. But for Leona, I say Zoe is just too valuable of a threat to just say Exhaust is not needed. I feel like Exhaust has to be had as long as there's a Zoe, a Cho'Gath, and a Xayah, because you really need as Leona to get that extra slow factor, because you are a engaging support. Alistar is as well, but he's got a very good amount of peel because he can direct enemies away from their ADCs. But Leona commits, puts everything on the line, and says that target needs to die, and I will burn this person with the sun as many times as it takes to get this person down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's mainly going to be the Cho'Gath. I don't remember. Did he build Righteous Glory last game? Or no?
Righteous Glory?
Yeah.
Well,
because if he did build the Righteous Glory...
If you're talking Cho'Gath, yes, he did do that.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I don't know. I still think Ignite probably would have been better, because not only does it give you the lane priority, like as well, but then when you do jump on that Zoe, I don't really see like the rest of the team being able to jump on the Zoe as well as the Leona, just for the simple fact that they're going to have a Cho'Gath, an Ornn, and an Alistar that are all trying to counter jump them. And even if they do get close, then Alistar is just going to knock them away. So the only valuable thing on the Exhaust isn't really to negate Zoe's damage, but more just for the slow. But I feel like the Ignite damage would be better, because as long as one of her teammates get like any ability off on Zoe, then Leona can pretty much do the rest with the CC, just with how hard the front line is from Nevermore.
Yep.
But I can see why you would take it. I feel like Ignite would have been a little bit better.
Agreed. And it will be what could make or break a team fight for sure, because Ignite is always so strong in those early game to be a deciding factor on kills. Let's see if that was a mistake coming up soon, folks.
Yep, loading in the game, and we'll be able to check the summoner spells and the masteries, or the runes. Masteries anymore. Will load.
Yeah, sorry about that. Coughing a little bit here or there. You know how it is. But I digress. It is still a interesting. Sorry, maybe I am a little bit more sick than I thought I was. um, so they have an engage. They have a lot of engages. In fact, almost every champion can engage. But there is disengage. Kind of looks a little on the weaker side, personally.
Yeah, I think Ascendancy game have a lot more damage, but Nevermore have a lot more like tanky frontline and all in. And so it's interesting to see like which comp will win out. But in your opinion, which one would you rather have? Who do you think won the pick and ban phase there?
I'm afraid it's kind of momentum based. I don't think there's really a better one. I just think that Nevermore is riding on the momentum of their success. So even though I think Nevermore is basically the better of the two, I think Ascendancy Gaming is the better of the two. I mean,
Okay.
I honestly think that Nevermore is kind of riding on the momentum that they had, and therefore is basically where their where their confidence lies, and that honestly I think is the deciding factor over the fact that they are not the strongest out there.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Nevermore to know which team is better mechanically, but I do think that Ascendancy Gaming are kind of like on a hot streak with the most recent wins. They're also a little unknown as well, so they have that Nevermore factor in terms of not 100% sure on what they bring.
Yeah,
I do think you're right about the riding the momentum into this game, or into the late game anyway. Like, I think if it goes past 35 minutes and the game's been relatively slow, then Nevermore win hands down, just having the Ornn, the Cho'Gath, and the Alistar. Because their backline's pretty much untouchable with the Xayah Zoe. And especially with those two champions, I feel like 35 minutes should be Nevermore's game, unless like Ascendancy Gaming have a 30k gold lead. So what I think they need to do is just really punish the Cho'Gath in the jungle early, and try and punish the Zoe. Because Alistar is pretty hard to gank, same with a Xayah. And then top lane Ornn is pretty tanky as well. So I want to see them really punish Cho'Gath. Because if Cho'Gath gets like even the slightest bit ahead of the Sejuani, he can build that Righteous Lori, and he's just all over the backline. And it should be over before it even began.
That is what happened to Psycho Sully last time. He managed to get a very incredibly interesting and sneaky ultimate kill on Sejuani during a very interesting bait by Ascendancy Gaming. They happened to have Psycho Sully in such a brilliant spot that all they needed to do was just burn him and kill him, but they didn't have the burst that they thought they did, and Psycho Sully takes a free consume bite at a Sejuani, flashes over the wall, and gets out for free, despite that incredible bait, which was very impressive. I hope somebody clipped that.
Yep, trading in the bot lane, I was looking at the runes, nothing really super crazy. Unsealed's build back on the Zoe, so I'm shocked that she went that and didn't run Ignite. I know her early damage isn't what it used to be, but she's still pretty strong early, so I would have expected her to run Ignite. I don't know, maybe I'm just a too zealous fan of Ignite, but I feel like it's just so strong early. And especially if you're going to run things like Unsealed Spellbook, it's just better. Maybe worried about a camp from the Sejuani.
I mean, yeah, I would think that that would be something you would really want to worry about. Now, Zoe did not really have to deal with the Sejuani a lot last game.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused mainly about the...
Yeah, there was very little to no camping going on the Zoe last time. It's because that sleep was so devastating that when it was landed, Go Swim a Lap just could not seem to make, a try after that point. Psycho Sully and Swim a Lap gonna go ahead and have a bit of a fight on each other. It's not gonna get there on time, Zoe. Sorry.
I don't know why Sejuani looked for that invade there, since their mid laner didn't have lane pressure or priority at all. If Zoe would have played a little bit more aggressive and ran to the front instead of the back way, that easily would have been first blood for either Psycho Sully or to live as the Smite.
Knock up lands. Smile wants to get Orianna just a little bit into a bad spot, and Hamlet cannot afford to lose any momentum. Speaking of momentum, both those mid laners have decided to go Demon Materializer.
Yeah, I just was going to say that, yep. Yeah, with the new buff to Banner of Command and the Baron minions, it can be super strong if one team gets ahead, and that's the one item. Oh, I don't know why she just used it.
We did not see it, by the way, in the game prior, so I don't think either team even knows about this bug, like, at all. I don't even know if they were listening to the stream and overheard me just say, listen, it is worth selling 2 items to get this item. It is that busted, but at the time, they didn't even think about it.
It's still pretty fresh, but I'm really shocked with all the coverage that it's had from almost everybody that they haven't heard about it. And I'm really shocked that it didn't come out last game. But yeah, they've already started using it, so I guess they're not worried about the Banner of Command.
Yeah, well, I don't know where, if anything, of all the people to get a Banner Command, I think Blitzykins could get the most benefit out of it, but I don't think he would be the one to do it. Instead, I don't even think anyone's even considering that as an OP item. Boy, a lot of emote spamming of sadness coming from this Xayah, and takes a tower shot, misreading the distance there.
BM, get the tower shot, unlucky.
The thing is, I don't know if that's BM. If Amumu's crying at you, isn't that sadness? It just feels sad. It's like
unlucky.
It just feels like sadness. Just doesn't want to play
get that
ADC.
deep Pengu emote and just spam it in lane every time you gank. I know every time we beat a team, I make... Ooh!
Ooh, there's the Drowsy. There is the pressure. And this is why Go Swim a Lap just doesn't seem to like ganking mid for some reason. And that might be it. AG Balls almost goes down. Ornn showing that health percentage damage, still looking pretty good against champions like Lissandra.
Yeah, could still punish her. She doesn't have her W to get away. Or to stun. Oh, wait.
Drowsy lands. He'll jump over. And it looks like Zoe will not get in range to make the Q proc happen.
I feel like if Psycho Soul into Love is to smite, well.
So, auto attack, there it is! And that's gonna do the deed. Wow, I couldn't even keep up with it in time. PK Awesome now wedged between the ADC and the Leona. The stun is gonna come through really cleanly, and it is not the first. Alistar, well played the W, using Leona to give himself a better position. And nice job on that part by everybody.
Yeah, thought it was going to go down there. Actually played that pretty well. One tower shot away from possibly getting the return kill.
Uh-huh. Well...
Cho'Gath coming mid.
Yep, and the knockup barely touches the hitbox. He's going to try to defend himself with his ultimate, but the sleep lands.
Oh, that should be...
Hamlet will get autoed and taken out.
That could be a double.
It looks like Swim wanted a little bit more, but he's not going to get it. The auto attack, little too much. And he's going to fall back. Meanwhile, AG Balls gets clamped on, hits the hammer and sickle, and slams it down, bringing that Russian authority right onto AG Balls.
Yeah, trades all over the map. Really proactive play by the Cho'Gath to repeatedly gank mid, even though he's not the greatest really making the most of it. And Blaziken has just been showing that he owns the top lane right now with that Ornn pick. Meanwhile, Sakasoli, I wonder if he's going to gift the blue. Nope, he's going to take it for himself, get the XP. Which I don't think is the worst thing to do right now either. Look at the first back, lost chapter on both mid laners.
So, by the way, I wanted to point out he has Grasp of the Undying in this one. It worked for him last time because in the late game he could get his AP, you know, his health bar was so high that became a very big proccing AP damage. Is this still a good idea because you're sacrificing a lot for that late game?
No, I think running Predator on Cho'Gath jungle is actually a lot better than Grasp of the Undying. Just because it gives you that early pressure. It's basically a free Righteous Glory. So I would have liked to have seen the early back with the boots on the Predator and just continue to snowball early.
So Ascendancy Gaming notices they've got a little bit of free area. They're going to try to take this Drake. They happen to get in position. And it will be secured, but it's re-engage time by Nevermore. They're going with every single auto tech they can get off. Xayah trying to get the ADC, but was stun locked by the Alistar. Meanwhile, the split has happened, and it will be a quick catch, and Xayah gets taken out. Zoe takes out one member, and Hamlet nowhere to go. Wedged right in next to the waterfall, and his head gets dunked onto the other side, drowning as he gets killed over with a 3-1 advantage for Nevermore.
Very messy fight.
Split, retreat, they didn't know where to run to, and they realized they had nowhere to go. They take the Infernal Drake, but nowhere else to run, and Tristana was thinking about trying to turn that fight, and Leona Zarashi just says, I don't think I can stick around. retreats back to the tri-bush. Tristana, realizing that that's happening, starts to begin to make that retreat, but it's too late. Alistar gets right on top of him, locks him into position, and then at that point, Zayab, making a very risky decision, continues those auto attacks, goes down, and multiple members surely follows afterwards on that split. Tries for the burst. It walks into the queue to lower the damage slightly, and AG Balls will now slowly work his way. He will do a little bit of dance and outmaneuver Blitzy as he completely throws him off on that play.
Yeah, kind of bad for Zoe to make that roam. She's almost 30 CS behind. She's not like on the same itemization. She doesn't have enough gold to buy the items she needs. And so now they're going to lose priority mid as well. And you can see if she doesn't get that travel bubble on her with the Q, she's just not doing as much damage as she was. Unlucky.
Yeah, I'm going to need to... apparently, nature's calling again, so I'm going to have to go to the bathroom one more time. Be right back, folks.
Well, good old army. Can't control his bladder. Unlucky. I guess it happens to men his age. It's okay, though. Yeah, meanwhile, Sejuani's looking for a gank bot lane. Just going to clear the ward. Meanwhile, Psychosolic clears his red. Mid lane, they're going to continue to trade back and forth. Top lane. He's about to push into the Lissandra. Sejuani hovering around her bot side. Looks like she's going to pick up that red. And then she could go for the full clear top lane and then for the Rift Herald. Or she can just go ahead and look to gank top. I don't know if you really want to gank an Ornn, but he doesn't have his tower, so it's entirely possible that she does go for that option. Meanwhile, Nevermore's bot lane is playing pretty safe. Maybe wanting to freeze the lane, knowing that Zerashi and Zab like to play aggressive, and they also knew that the Sejuani was bot side recently, so they don't want to risk pushing up. Meanwhile, Cho'Gath is walking into the warded bush, looking for a play, and Alistar's going to go in before that they can even realize it. Cho'Gath gets the knock up. Tristana ultis away, stunned by the passive, and they get the first kill on. Oh, Psych, her second kill on Zaya.
Oh man, of course I missed a kill. Oh man. Just came back and find out that the kill just happened on the Leona.
Yep, meanwhile, top lane.
Yep, minor trades again. AG Balls cannot survive anything when it comes down to that wombo combo. Just have no way to get any good trades off. Despite able to consistently have that farm lead, doesn't have any way to stop that combo from hurting nearly as bad.
Yeah, it doesn't even have the Spectre's Cowl, just has a Negatron Cloak, and is already negating so much damage with that. And that's one of the unfortunate things about going in AP top lane. It only takes 1 or 2 items for you to become completely useless in the 1v1 top lane.
Yep, and that's why Lissandra really not really that strong of a top laning opponent against a tank.
You're just getting free damage.
I wanted to defend the tower, but it did not pay off. Alistar not going to let that happen, and impressive. It will be a quick tower take for Nevermore, as they will get one on the way.
Cho'Gath and Orianna are both running down. This could be interesting.
Ooh, Hamlet, I think, pushed his luck a little bit too far there. Sully followed him the entire way and stopped him. Meanwhile, AG Balls is going to continue to fight against Blitzikins while
Tristana
wants to get this fight. Sejuani, you gotta get the damage in there. You gotta get the damage up in there. Meanwhile, Blitzikins gets the hammer down, slams it right onto that icicle, and that is a Lissandra cracking under the pressure and falls to pieces.
Trades all over the map, and that pretty much shows you the state of Sejuani right now, where she can 1v1 a mid lane.
Oh, that might be low enough. Psycho Sully wants it. He's got the... No, he doesn't have the consume, actually. He's going to back off.
That's why you run Predator, so you can just Predator in and secure the kill. I know that's why I run Predator on Cho'Gath. Well, you can just run into a lane and chaos later.
And there is not enough movement speed here for Cho'Gath, and you see, you know, right there, Predator might have been a good time for it, you know what I mean? That seems like a good time for a Predator catch. I see what you're saying, learn more now.
Yeah, gonna go over there and take the blue buff again. His mid laner don't need it, he's the jungler. I like his mentality. Meanwhile, bot lane lost their tower, so they're just going to try and freeze it in a semi-safe spot. Both top lane and bot lane missing towers on the opposite sides, just trading very well on both teams. Maybe not the most practice on Zoe, even though they picked it twice, because she's missing a lot of Qs on minions that can't move.
Zarashi decides to make that engage. It looks like both sides of the support are going to throw themselves at the ADC, but it's Zayab that seems to have the upper hand for now. Goes for the flash. It's enough. The auto finally comes through, and Zayab gets the kill. Blitzikin's coming in, and it looks like it will be AG Balls coming in as well to try to help out on that AG, or in this case, Ascendancy lead.
Yep, Ascendancy just going to set for the next Drake. Maybe let's team fight.
It's Infernal. Ascendancy Gaming grabbing a second Infernal Drake might be game turning for the late game.
Yeah.
This is where their damage might be so much that despite their fall off in certain areas, they'll certainly get it back in others.
Ooh.
They
need to do well early.
They need this. Cho'Gath is in the area. Nevermore does not want them to have the chance. First damage onto Zoe. It's going to be the ultimate. Oh, Ornn misses it. It's going to be Blitzing going after the
missed his
Alistar 3v1s against that bot lane and the top lane. Liz takes the kill, and it's going to be too much damage.
They're low. They can still do
They're
this.
have to stop doing the Drake, but Nevermore now wants to do it. AG Balls, they're going to jump right back in.
Smite fight.
He's going to go for the smite fight, and it is Cho'Gath that takes it. That is not what Nevermore wanted to have.
Get the Tristana, quit
Free,
focusing.
but they still got it anyway. It's going to be Cho'Gath.
They just abandoned their ADC!
And it will be Sejuani getting a kill for their ADC, but Blitzykins wants more. He needs one more auto. It's just got to stretch that hammer a little further. He doesn't have to. He slams it in and gets the Cataclysm that will divide the sun. And that will be once again another 1-3 for Nevermore.
Yeah, messy fights. Just neither team looking like they know what they're doing in terms of who they want to target and who they want to kill. Each team, luckily for each team, the other team is the exact same way. Both are relatively new teams. Both Nevermore starting with the new roster and Ascendancy Gaming, having played too many games together. But it shows, definitely. But I like the fact that we're getting these exciting games because of it.
Blitzykins is an opportunist, and this is all the opportunities that he could ever come across. He consistently has been in every place he needs to be to make kills happen, and he has a 4-0-1 record to show for it.
Yeah, he's the carry the team needs. Time to just build full crit.
He's like, what meta change? I'm still the best top laner. What meta change?
Yeah, looks like they get a lane swap as well, which is the smart thing to do.
Now, AG Balls has great clear, but he has no way to survive against an Alistar Wombo combo. Is this a good idea?
He did get Ludens, though. He could one-shot the ADC, theoretically.
Both buffs being taken, they're going to go ahead and try to grab themselves a Rift Herald. They're going to take it. Will they use it topside? I think it's a good idea. Try to get a massive amount of push in, because AG Balls, there's no way he can survive long enough.
Does have the Tri-Warder, and Anna's is
bot lane. Oh, wait a second. Yep, there's the Herald. They're going to try to do a base race here, as AG Balls now have to defend against not only a wave, but a Rift Herald. As the Rift Herald goes into... Oh, actually, yeah, there is no wave yet. They're going to be able to take this tower, get it down fast, as Ornn is now trying to...
Base race!
This base race could not benefit either side well enough.
Triple knock-up!
Yep, and it is Zarashi backing off, not enough health here, and it is still a push now by the Nevermore, and it looks to be a tower coming down for sure here. So in the base race, it looks like AG Balls will take an Alistar for the road, but loses
he could get
the tower. Ooh, he's looking at it. He doesn't have a jump. He's going to go for that. That burst can come through.
Okay.
The sleep is going to be the downfall as they're now rotating over to mid lane. That damage was coming through really nicely. The burst damage as well. Hamlet takes some tower damage. The ultimate's coming in. That will be a turning point, but isn't enough. They're going to go for ultimate. They're going to try to take out him. Sully, they do so, and the tower at mid falls as well.
Out-rotating Nevermore very hard mid lane.
Ascendancy the bot lane. Gaming reminding Nevermore, you're still cursed to lose a game after you win one. Let's see if you can win this one, says Ascendancy Gaming.
Lissandra was literally the make or break moment there. If Lissandra wouldn't have picked off two of them, they could have continued to push with the Rift Herald all the way up to the inhibitor, or they could have just collapsed mid. So the fact that Lissandra got two of them there, did save the game there for him.
Yep, and Zoe at this point was a key factor there. If Lissandra was able to still swing Honestly, I think AG Balls might have had a chance to overpower to Live is to Smile as well. But that very well placed sleep certainly put an end to that well-constructed play.
Yep, definitely something different. At first, Orin was trying to show up the 1v3, like, look, I'll almost get one of you. He turned around, save the tower, and Lissandra shows him one better. You may have won lane, but you're not going to win the game, says Lissandra.
Anyway, love the comment Dota dropped. He just got ball tapped. He slams it in. Ball
Well,
tap.
looks like they're gonna-
That's good stuff. So Lissandra with those kills is now ahead, statistically speaking, than the Orange. So all that advantage the Orange stole up and soaked up from those opportunity plays, all has been renegated because in this case, 12K, 1,200 for the Lissandra, and now has the lead thanks to those kills that he got back.
Yeah, and
Sully's can tank a good amount, but I don't think he can tank it for very long. He doesn't have any magic resist, and the one he does is very little. In fact, it's
Zoe's
just
almost
only a mantle.
Speaking on the money lead, 1,000 farm, or not 1,000 farm, but 1,000 gold behind is the Zoe from the Oriana, based off of the almost 60 CS that she's behind. Even though she is 3-1-1, is still behind.
Hashtag farm matters, folks. Hashtag farm matters.
Solely not giving anybody the blue buff, not his own team, not the enemy team, making sure he secures that, even at the risk of his ADC.
Ornn at the top side has TP, waiting for a play to be made. Knock up here will hit 2 members, but the slow does not affect Sedge. He's still looking and prowling for a play. Sedge will take a burst, gonna try to get a catch. Alistar's gonna come into play. Ornn gonna TP into this fight as Alistar still 1v4ing. Will not live long enough to make that play happen. Blitzykins fires the ultimate. Can he hit this one? He's gonna hit 3 actually, as he takes down 2 members on that play. He's going to lead his team right into the front of the other ones. It's going to be Cho'Gath that gets bursted by Tristana, and this is a 2v3 situation. Sarashi trying to get one more stun to help out the Tristana, and Tristana's going to back away, giving away the ocean. And the flash used as now a smite is available for this. And I think he'll use it here. Yep. But he doesn't take the drink with it though. Alright, well, that was an interesting fight. Ended up becoming a 4-for-2. Once again, advantage for Nevermore. Don't know how, but Nevermore just keeps winning these, Rengar. Oh, you DC'd. Okay. Well, he's gone. Gone, and hopefully will come back soon enough. Red buff secured for Zayab. We'll have it this time, unlike the last ADC. Sarashi, I think, is about to run into some big problems, but somehow will not be engaged on. Thank goodness for Sarashi's sake. That would have been devastating.
Thank you, Army. Sorry for that DC. But, you know, when you have to leave to use the restroom, I got a DC to show you up. Make sure you're not stealing my AFK records.
Of course, of course. No way I'll be able to pull that off, honestly. Not with what you've got. Knock up lands. Zayab gonna get a good auto off in time. It is still a 5v5 situation. Without a J4 present, it's kind of like they're hugging each other because they don't have to worry about like a wombo combo like that.
Nope.
But Leona's gonna get caught here. Ultimate only hits Sully as the engage now begins. Here comes another wombo combo. Ornn's ultimate is just turning the fight so heavily against him. He gets drowned. Aizen alive. And Nevermore once again wins another fight as he's looking for more. Hamlet will knock it out, slams them together, and it will be once again all the members except for one goes down, and that will be left to AG Balls trying to defend the area. Tries to get that to root him into place. Doesn't seem to do the trick. Blitzy's kind of taking some onslaught here, but the tower finally goes down. I think he's okay.
Yeah, Ornn may not be hitting all of his ultimates, but he doesn't really need to when he can knock out multiple members every single team fight with his VE. Playing out of his mind, picked up the Thornmail, and is that the Abyssal Mask as well? very tanky at this point. And looks like Psycho Sully has finally picked up his Righteous Glory versus the Warmox of the Sejuani. So the Sejuani will have a little bit more health, but that Righteous Glory is going to come in handy like it did there. Oh,
getting rid
stop
of
messaging.
division and getting rid of things that will be pretty intense for the fights to come. It will be Nevermore having the same damage buff, so they have their late game advantage back to the way it's supposed to be. So I guess we're back into the conversation of 35 minutes, this game will be over for Ascendancy Gaming, is what you were essentially saying. But you weren't really saying it that way. You were saying it more like most likely and has a better chance of...
Yeah, most likely. Obviously, you can never account for the skill of a player.
Yeah.
Like, one slight outplay can turn the game, even if you do have, like, the worst comp, clearly. But 24 minutes in, they're down 2k gold when this is kind of like the spot they should be shining in with how much damage dealers they have. The fact that they're not is kind of worrying. Ornn getting ahead early was not good because now he is the front line. They needed at 35 minutes at 24 minutes. So very scary for him.
Yeah, Blitzikin has finally got those ultimates to land really consistently. He was missing some earlier, but now when he's been able to hit them, they have been unbelievably effective. And Ascendancy Gaming has got to be very worried right now, as looks like he tried to sneaky play, but the sleep will not come through. Ooh, look at that clear! AG Balls clears that entire wave with only one ability. Wow.
Yeah, Ornn actually getting his buffed item, the Abyssal Mask, now called the Infernal Mask with the upgrade.
It would be a very unwise idea for Ascendancy Gaming to take this. They're not going to take it. They're going to start backing off. Nevermore here is going to be
Rashi is tanking.
Actually, Nevermore looks like they're going to start coming in, actually. I thought they were going to start looking for other lanes to push, but I guess they want to try to go for a catch. Knock up lands. Hamlet. Ornn ult kind of come in. He's going to fire it down. Hit the Stana, and Alistar finally gets the catch he's looking for. The damage for the stun is coming through here, and it will look like to be another fight that Nevermore wins again. The Tristana does manage to take out the Alistar as the ultimate comes down. It's going to be sleeped down for one member, and once again, Ornn, 7-0-7, looking for some more damage. It will be him chasing after AG Balls, as he will be very hungry for more kills. He wants more. And it's, by the way, Psycho Sully that kills another member. A 2-for-1 trade yet again for Nevermore. Nevermore can't seem to lose a team fight here, and that may be the reason they win the game.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Baron. I'm interested to see if we'll see a banner of command come out, or like you said, either Tim really knowing or caring about it. Luckily for the Xayah, bought the QSS, so when Sejuani did get the good ultimate on her, nothing they could really do. She just QSS'd it immediately and ran away, which was a smart pickup.
Baron well within the hands of Nevermore. They feel pretty good. This is exactly what they've got last time, and they won the game with a Baron like this, so they want to really get close to that 35-minute mark, and they could be looking at 35 minutes right now.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty for Ascendancy Gaming at all. They're really going to have to pull something out of their hat if they're going to want to turn this game around, because it is not looking
Next Drake
bueno.
appears to be a Cloud. Would be very beneficial for Cho'Gath. Going to make it easier for him to jump onto his target as long as he doesn't get autoed.
Psycho actually giving over the blue buff. Xayah almost taking it, living with 1 HP, boys!
Gonna get it.
Could this be the point where they throw? He gave away the blue buff to a different laner. I think that may be game over in favor of Ascendancy Gaming.
That may be the case. By the way, Ornn's decision to make the Infernal Mask, aka the upgraded version of the Abyssal Mask, would also be something very interesting for his build direction. He's building himself more magic resist by going with this item. Do you think this is a better one than upgrading perhaps a different item?
I think that's the right call. He's been trying to 1v1 Lissandra all game.
Ooh, they're
as well as them having the Orianna.
No, they're going to give themselves some more room. Less worry. Cloud Drake easily falls the hands to Alistar, of all people, as they begin the rotation to mid.
Yeah, I didn't have ultimate. Oh, he did have ultimate to feast that, actually. I don't know why he didn't.
Yeah.
And back to what you were saying, I think it is the right call, because they have the Orianna that he's going to be 1v1ing. He's got the Lissandra. So the more magic resist he has, I think the better. Especially since the static shiv does AP damage as well.
So, yeah, and it's good. It's good. It's certainly looking good right now.
gonna collapse on the
Alistar
Orianna, looks like.
happens to have the Locket upgrade. Ult coming in. Ornn's ultimate. He hasn't missed one in a while. He's not going to miss one here. Going to get an extra barrier from that W, and the pressure continues. Ascendancy Gaming playing back in the defensive spot. This is where Nevermore won last time. They forcing Ascendancy Gaming to defensive play, and that is working for them. This could be where the record is broken, and they're cursed.
And you're right about the banner of command. Neither team knowing about it, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. Like I said, I don't think they have any idea. Although that Alistar does still has another one. Wait a minute. He's already got a Locket. Now he has another one. Maybe he does know about it. Wait a second here, folks.
A little bit behind. You think you'd want to spend it right now before the Baron buff expires because you really want to max out
Yeah.
how much damage it produces.
I think they're expecting to get another Baron, perhaps. Maybe they think they're going to be in another situation where they don't think they can win the game right away, so they're going to need to bleed in another 10 more minutes.
Maybe just looking to push or break the base.
Yeah.
Maybe not looking to end, but break the base.
Yeah, I'd imagine that is the case. Alistar still seems to be the only person realizing this, whether he's seen the stream or not, or whatever the case may be. They're certainly trying to crack the egg. They will get to the ADC. That's a big damage onto that Xayah, and that Xayah will get a crit to take out Sedge. Somehow. Don't know how that actually came through, but I think they might have cracked the. I think they cracked the egg. They're gonna start going in. The Ornn barely staying alive here, and Balls is going right for him. Blitz hasn't missed one. Isn't gonna miss one here either. Xayah is gonna go ahead and get himself a quick kill to go, but he is not gonna be able to do anything more than that. Alistar has been the sacrificial lamb, and the bot inhibitor.
They're gonna look for the end or the mid in him. That's the real question.
They are looking to win. Yep, they're looking to win the game. They're gonna try to burst the tower down. They got one, and they lost their minion wave. I think they're gonna start backing off. Yep.
Yeah, minion wave hadn't crashed yet. Unfortunate.
Well, they cracked the egg for sure. Oh, Tristana trying to get one more kill to go. Looks like Swim wants to take out the mid laner, but that's way more damage than he expected. He's got a barrier, but it's not enough. He gets burnt alive by Blitzy. And once again, I think Blitzy's gunning for that standout player of the match right now, folks.
They did it! Banner of Command on the All-Star.
A little late for that one, I'm afraid, as the Baron buff is already gone. But
not for the next Baron, though, Army. You gotta thank Long Game.
Yeah, Long Game. You're correct. They're looking at the Long Game right now. But the egg has been cracked open. Ascendancy Gaming could not manage to hold the tide when the crack started to show. When in Game 1 it happened, this may be the beginning of the end and a curse that has been lifted for Nevermore.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Nevermore to throw this lead now. Not only have they amassed a 7k gold lead, but their team comp is just better. It's built for this late game. And now that it's 32 minutes in, I think they should be able to take away the W and get a 2-0. And a 2-0 would actually put them at... Where are they? Which put them at 8 points because they have 5 points right now. So they're still looking like they want to make playoffs. It's not a pipe dream yet.
But it could be a piping dream for them if they get themselves into a situation against piping again. Remember, you can't win with a tie in the playoffs. I'm afraid that doesn't work that way. There's got to be a way to break the tie.
Yeah, the real question is, does this look like a playoff team to you? Or is it just two random teams blowing each other up and one just happened to get the win? Because personally...
Psycho Sully's definitely playing out a strong hand here. I think he's going to get banned in the future, so he better start thinking about some new junglers to play for sure. But for right now, Cho'Gath definitely looks like he's working. Ornn takes the top tower as the crack starts to peel off at the other side. Ooh, wow, that's some range. I cannot believe that actually connected. Ooh, hits another one. Orianna uses the ball, but that's just going to take a little off the top for the tank.
Gotta watch out for the dive here.
Yep, and it is going to be a dive. Ornn's ult coming in again. Does hit the long range down the lane shot. Blitzykins once again able to set up a big play, and Sejuani goes down, hits all three members, and he looks like he just can't be stopped. He's going to set up a big play as the Leona gets caught in that bad spot here, and it's going to be Tristana going down immediately as well. AG Balls fires the
Don't
ultimate.
get greedy, end the game.
And the
No.
greed caught up to that ADC. That might have just sold him out from getting any chance of getting the standout player with that mistake. Blitzykins, though, my goodness. Can he... Wait a second, he's getting a little low. Oh, no, he goes perfect, ladies and gentlemen, for the 8-0-12. He's
Very
saying,
beautiful
what
game out of
meta
Blitzy.
change? What patch change? Ornn's the best top laner.
Very
100%
scrappy
confirmed.
game, but a entertaining one.
Oh, baby, it was. And I've never seen quite a devastating performance from an Ornn in a long, long time. It almost looked like he had complete control of this entire match.
Yeah, had
From
more
the very
damage than
beginning.
the Tristana.
Oh, yes, he did, actually. That health percentage damage certainly came through. Lissandra, though, did a lot of damage as well. 23 on that one, but the highest damage, barely edging out, happens to be the Orianna, edging out the Zoe by a mere, what, 13? Yes, 13.
13 damage, yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Barely
actually
edging out.
shocked Zoe had that much. It looked like she was missing most of her stuff, but late game, I guess it doesn't really matter how many you missed early when you can chunk somebody for half health.
Truth, my dude. Truth. Let's get on to the next topic right here. We'll take a look at damage taken and self-mitigated. And, yep, 53.8k on the damage mitigation for Ornn. Wow. Maybe he's not exactly as weak as everybody thinks he is. 'Cause, wow, he looks just as strong as ever when it comes to that much mitigation. We also happen to have damage taken, 23.8k. Lots of the, well, not going to lie, lots of that little extra stuff when it comes to that tankiness. But it still seems to be mostly tanked by the Sejuani on the opposing side. Well,
Yeah.
hey, you're paying for tankiness, and that's what you're going to get, but you're not going to get any mitigation, that's for sure.
Lucky.
Indeed. Let's take a look at that vision score and vision placed, my favorite topic. Alistar edging out Zerashi again. Unlucky for him. He usually has a better game than this, but I guess in this one, he just couldn't seem to keep up from last week's performance. Alistar out visioning and out warding.
Yeah, in almost every department, the wards placed, Alistar did better. The wards destroyed, Alistar did better. Only thing that was tied was the control wards purchase. So Alistar's showing that he knows what it takes to be a good support.
Yep, and we got a good vision score here from the Cho'Gath as well, edging out most of the team members by a 44 on that, but with an 18 on the vision wards placed. And finally, we have a control wards purchase. Looks to be about equal between the two supports. And Alistar destroyed 10 wards. Pretty solid stuff. Let's take a look at one final statistic here, guys, as we talk about the standout player. Honestly, I've been talking about him almost the entire game. Blitzykins, I think, gets the standout player purely off of that incredible match of that top lane that he did. Honestly, he looked like he wanted to prove a point, and I think he did. I think he just straight up said, let's end this curse right here and right now.
Yeah, almost the sole reason that they won the second game. Like he took that lead top lane and just dispersed it all across the map. And although Sully had a good game, both games, it was really Blitzy that was the star of the show.
Yeah, and Psycho Sully definitely did a good job with that Cho'Gath, able to really be a force of nature in Game 1. In Game 2, however, I think Blitzykins just showed a little bit of extra in Game 1 and just dominated in Game 2, almost turning every single fight on its head with those on-point ultimates from the mid-game to late game. And I think that's just noteworthy for sure. Like, it ended the game much sooner simply from those ultimates.
Yeah, when you're a full tank, like at 24 minutes, and you already have like 2-3 items completed, you know that he did something right.
All right, well, let's get you in here real quick. Let's see if we can get this conversation with Blitzykins. Ladies and gentlemen, Blitzykins here. What do you, how you feeling, man? Do you feel like you earned that standout player?
The curse is broken, for one, that's for sure.
The curse
Like,
is
no
broken.
no more ties. Thank the Lord. But
No more ties. Hashtag no more ties. Drop it in the chat if you happen to be a big fan of this organization. Nevermore will always have no more curses. Now, with this being confirmed, do you feel like this is the day the curse was broken, or was it the Naughty Nips game when the curse was broken? Personal opinion, would like to hear it.
Okay. So honestly, before I even came into the league, which was directly after the Nine Nips game, Psycho Sully definitely hit me up when the game was over. We chatted for a while. I got in, and once I got in the Nevermore atmosphere, it was really tense. Like everyone was going back and forth around each other, and then eventually the team decided to go their separate ways, and it was just me and Psycho Sully. And at that point, I actually seen an opportunity for Nevermore as an organization as a whole to actually rebuild from the depths where it was at. And we recruited some players that I believe that were wild cards. Sully definitely checked them out. He said that these guys were good to go. And that's when we came up to the Corey in the House match, which unfortunately we had the tie there. But definitely at that moment, after that first game, I realized that this team actually has a lot of potential to actually go a lot further up in the standings. And even though we did lose the second game for Corey in the House, still we were able to hold our own for just being a team that only managed to have 4 days worth of practice with each other. And I tell you what, these group of guys are phenomenal. If whenever we're in practice and we're going screaming against other people and everything, sure, we get a little tilted and everything, but when it comes to game day, I know every single one of them is going to do their job, and I have total faith in them. So honestly, the resurrection for Nevermore, I believe, happened right after Naughty Nips, yes.
So let me just let you know you answered literally every question I was going to ask you tonight, so thank you. That will be it, folks.
Oh, I actually have one more question, if you don't mind, Army.
Actually, of
All right.
course, I was joking, by the way. Go ahead.
My one question is, where do you guys... Okay, granted, you haven't had that much experience as a team, and it did look a little scrappy, but you guys pulled it together, showed that you guys clearly had I would say the better game, because you guys have had a lot less practice time than Ascendancy Gaming. But where do you rate yourself? Do you rate yourself like a top 3 team, a top 6, top 12, or whatever? Do you think this is going to be nothing but uphill, or what do you think some potential challenges are in your upcoming schedule?
So taking a look at the schedule that we're actually going to have coming up, I am looking forward to facing Frosty Esports. Rest their soul, they got 2-0'd this week, and that's really unfortunate for them. But I don't consider them for losing to a low-ranked team. I'm still going to give them the benefit of doubt. They're still a really great team. We're definitely going to still be training to get a comp together for them. But as for standing-wise for the team as a whole, I do believe that this team definitely can go far, and we can go up in the rankings if each game benefits to our favor. Like this week, it was pretty up and down, a lot of surprising wins from every team. But definitely, I would rank Nevermore playoff potential. These guys are really phenomenal to play with. Their shot calling is on point. These guys are talented in like every single mechanic of the game. These guys don't tilt. They're fun to practice with, and I wouldn't be on any other team if I had to say it.
Awesome.
Blitzy, we're going to have to have you never come back to this casting spot if you're going to answer questions we haven't even asked. I'm kidding, though. Love you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who went perfect in top lane, ending the curse, man. Nevermore top laner, Blitzykins. Thank you very much for being a participant in this standout player interview. We will see you next time if you're going to do something as handsome as that. By the way, any hashtag meta never changed, hashtag orange still great as top laner? Is that what you want to do?
No, just hashtag Nevermore win for the remainder of the season will do for me.
All right, well then that's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the night. Thank you very much, Blitzy. Doors on the right. You're all set to leave. Thank you for very great performance of Orin.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, that will just about do it here, folks. Let's go ahead and bring this to a close. My name is Army Overlord. I was your camera guy for the night, and Kidafire was your color caster when he was here.
Yep, and it was Rengar for the second game.
And we thank you very much for watching. Guys, don't forget to join our Discord. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Twitch. Don't you dare forget about our YouTube. And we really appreciate everybody who's been really supportive and really happy and healthy over the courses of this one to make up for the fact that I'm sick. But I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I hope I'll be able to get my Gathering of Warriors to go with a nice Happy Meal of free agents, which, by the way, we have also a ton of those too. Ladies and gentlemen, we almost have as many subs as we do free agents. That's right. We're sitting on a really high amount of free agents and subs. Perhaps we could even get some sort of match organized for it. You'll certainly find out on Wednesday whether that match is going to come through or not, as it will be a surprise for that Wednesday event. Make sure you come by 8 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern Time Zone. Do not forget, I will not forget, and I will make sure every free agent that I can get into this matchup. Well, that's it for everything, folks. Thank you all for watching. This week is over. We only have a few more left to go. Who is going to make the playoffs? Who is in the contention? Who deserves the championship? These questions you'll find out in the weeks to come. Good night, everybody.